Ready for some fun?
Yes, always ready for a bit of fun.
Bit of crack, should we say?
Bit of crack.
Yes.
CRAIC.
CRA, exactly. We have to clarify for the folks watching and listening.
Yes.
Not from Ireland. Sarah Jane, pleasure to meet you.
And you, Sean.
Finally, we got a chance to see you on stage here at OWASP AppSec Global.
That was me, guilty as charged.
You, yes. pretty full room. Good engagement. I think the audience was interested to hear your perspective on engineering and developers, and I think you said happier developers, not necessarily happy developers.
I don't want to overpromise. I don't want to mislead people.
Exactly. So maybe first time folks on ITSP Magazine hearing from you, so maybe a quick word about who you are, your role, what you're up to.
Yeah, so I've done many roles. So sounds bad, but I've been around the block. But I've done the tech ops. By trade, I'm a developer. Moved across into security quite some time ago now. I've held the role of CISO at smaller companies, and I just kind of move around because I'm interested. I can't stay in my own lane. I'll go where the problem is.
See where stuff happens.
Yeah, it's like, over there. It's like, there's no such thing. I'm probably the opposite too. That's not my job. I'm like kind of going, people have to say to me, that's not actually your job. But it genuinely is because I care about the kind of holistic security culture and approach. But yeah, very much from a developer background in the first place.
And so, your talk today was about engineers, and obviously a big part of it is rooted in AI.
Yeah.
Maybe just give us an overview of what the catalyst was to put that presentation forward and what the objective was for the audience.
AI is the obvious one. It's the elephant in the room right now. I did briefly touch on, there are other agents of rapid change. Right. This is the hot topic now, not to diminish AI, but that's very much what's on everybody's desk right now. The reason I brought up the other things like, COVID, the remote work and all that is because, not as a history lesson, but because we will need to respond to rapid change again. Yeah. So don't get fixed on, cycle. I need a solution for AI. You need a solution for rapid change and making sure that we don't leave things behind. And that's why, my whole title was Nemo Residio, the whole Latin phrase, leave nobody behind. Because sometimes when we start to speed up, software development is a team game. It's not just developers. There's a whole machine there, and getting it out, getting it sold, making sure it's solving problems. And quick can mean to some people cut corners. And I genuinely feel not to put the pressure on developers, but we have a duty to preserve what we do. Now that does not mean being prissy and saying, no, I must do it this way. We have got to evolve. We've got to embrace every change, and AI being one of them. We're going to have to embrace quantum, whatever that comes to mean for us. But we've got to also stand up for what we need to be successful, and that is application security is a key part of that. We've got to make sure that in the transition, it's not lost. There's lots of LinkedIn posts saying AppSec is dead, blah, blah, blah. It's like the coolest thing to say at the moment. And I'm like, I'll make it you invited to a few parties, but sit back and think about this. It's not really. It doesn't have to be a separate thing.
I wonder what that comment's buying them.
Yeah.
So talk to me a bit about, so there's in the trenches, you're writing code and you need to do that securely. There's assessment after the fact. Hopefully code is being written with some models and standards and other tools to actually do the right thing in the beginning. But before that is kind of the architecture piece. And the reason I'm bringing that up is secure by design, if you want to go there. I'm just thinking in the context of change. If we spend a lot of time in architecture and then a lot of time at the other end of implementation, do we do well in the middle part where
I think we probably have to start getting our minds away from a line. Okay. Now I know we've all had that DevOps and DevSecOps infinity diagram for the longest time, but we do still think linearly, and I'm guilty using the shift right phrase today. It's more iterative. It's more in layers, But that's definitely what I was talking about with doing the right work. Use the human brain for the ideation, for what's the right architecture, these complex problems, and get AI to be your secretary, get AI to be that, junior you're not allowed to have, that intern, get it to do all those things to speed you up, because I think, having been a technical architect at one point, you're expected to go so deep, but within only 3 days.
Right.
So this is that's giving you back a little bit of that time, where you can spend now, maybe it's still only 3 days, but at the end of it, you can still produce a first pass of code, because when you've done your work, the AI, whatever tool you're using, is producing that in seconds or minutes, rather than you going, by Tuesday afternoon, okay, I have to stop designing because I need to put something on here because I need to show it by tomorrow to show output. And that's the reality of the commercial world, that you've got to hit milestones and show output. But this is where we can be clever. Our jobs aren't going away. We just are now going to shift and do them differently. But we do need to get away from that linear view of things. This is a chance for a lot of feedback from our junior, who is there.
Are organizations that you are familiar with, connected to, speak to, I'm sure you talk with a bunch of people in the industry as well. Do you find that they are being clever, or is it a lot of trial and error at the moment? Just to kind of
There's a lot of trial and error, or I think that the nicer phrase is experimentation.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I'm a big fan of experimentation. Find out what doesn't work. I think there's room for improvement in terms of how discerning we are of those results. Too much of, I got a data team and they use this tool and it's out there, and it's like, are you producing a quality product? This is kind of the call to action I had for the development community, is like, it's not protecting your jobs as such, but you've got to insist that quality is still there and security is a measure of quality. So there's a little bit of push and pull just there. Again, it's that speed thing. Hey, look what I've done. I didn't need a developer perhaps even to do it, but we've got to remind people that you still need to do things. It's a bit like, my 11-year-old can put together, a toasted sandwich and whatever. He shouldn't be selling it out on the market, because if you saw the hygiene practices in the background, you wouldn't eat it. It's okay for me to eat it. So I think the same applies to what we're doing. Just getting it out there is not important, is not the only important thing. But people will, out of convenience and enthusiasm and whatever, forget, and they'll go, oh, that was the old world. And it's like, no. It needs to be part of our DNA.
So, I was speaking with a gentleman, Taka, he's from Japan, and he alluded to this idea that when we talk about bugs in software, security bugs, vulnerabilities, whatever, developers don't like to spend the time doing that. And so he was talking about a shift in Japan, at least, where engineers want to take time to use tools to create better software in the beginning. And of course, AI is perhaps a tool that can be used to do that. Do you think there's an opportunity for us to rethink how we bring security into the equation from a developer's perspective? Not just assess after, and not just try to jam.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Certain models and frameworks.
So this is part of this changing, this remolding of the SDLC is. And you can save time and developers' time in kind of refining your security standards and having the AI tool impose them upon the code it's creating itself, rather than a developer writing the code, as that gentleman's suggesting, and then going, oh, and it has security bugs, and now I have to go back over it, and I'm not actually moving, I'm not hitting any more milestones because the thing worked and now I have to do it. But when you do that kind of tedious stuff, that was what I was talking about, the drudgery. This is this shorter cycle at the front, this front loading with AI, boilerplate code, base stuff out there, your security requirements, any standards you have in your company, you know what I mean? Just, hey, apply this standard to this code so that it is compliant, rather than having a developer go, oh yeah, now I have to do that, make sure it complies with the standards as well. So definitely that's something that we can front load and then free up the developers to do the stuff that makes them happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes them happy. Let's talk about, maybe we'll close with this, and then I have one more question. I always have one more question. Let's speak to maybe line of business owners who know they need to deliver something so they can reach their growth targets and revenue targets and all that stuff. And now they think AI is this golden goose that's going to give them everything they want, right? What do we say to them with respect to what they should expect from their developers and what they shouldn't expect, and also the security counterparts?
Yeah, so I like to merge security and development, realizing that it depends on your organization whether they're, this responsibility is with one team or many. And I think as well, when you're talking about line of business owners and that, they see it all as IT.
Right.
Okay, it's like you're all IT. That's it. I think they're clever people. That's why they're heads of line of business. Okay, so don't fall for these convenience things. Don't fall for too many statistics. Okay, I sometimes speak a little bit too much in metaphors and analogies and things like that. But we'll go back to the meal thing, and it's you've gone from haute cuisine somewhere, okay, and now you've discovered, hey, microwave dinners, can we throw this out in the plate to our restaurants? Kind of going, do you see why that mightn't work?
Right.
That's what your security people or IT are trying to tell you. It's like, absolutely, if you want a chicken korma on the menu, but we're not going to do it out of the plastic thing, okay? There's standards to be maintained, and there's reasons for those standards, you know what I mean? And our customers ultimately will discern. This is what I was talking about with the World Economic Forum and those who promote it and those who resist AI. They will, even those who promote it, they'll say, oh yes, I want an AI solution, but they'll go, whoa, 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 and they will crucify you if the output falls below expectations. So you still have a responsibility there. So, you're on a plane and you read some business one-pager in the back of some magazine that tells you that you can remove all developers and reduce development time to 20% and this type of thing. Take it with rather a large pinch of salt, because that's your microwave dinner, really. Yeah. Okay, you're probably developing complex solutions to complex real-world problems.
Right.
Hope you are.
Yeah.
So there's going to be don't expect all the trimmings to go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now you said chicken korma. I was thinking chicken cordon bleu. There's a place for a Marks and Spencer chicken cordon bleu. But you have to make that decision. Is that what
Is that what you want?
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Sarah Jane, it's fantastic chatting with you. I have one more question. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to address the camera.
I feel like I should run away right now.
You should run away right now. This is your chance to run away. No, it's a huge, amazing community here that OWASP brings together around the world. And so when I say OWASP, what does that mean to you? I hate to throw the word community because we'll probably come out, but anyway, what does OWASP mean to you?
I leveraged the word community earlier today. Yeah. It means friends, it means helpers, it means support. Support is, the other two may seem a bit childish, but it does genuinely mean support. It's people who are down there with you. It's people who really want you to succeed. They are people who, our profession is very commercialized for obvious reasons, but there's very few of us went into university or whatever your path was thinking the commercial aspect. We like technology, we like making things work, we like building, breaking, defending, that type of thing. And in OWASP, you have people who get that and are going to let you bring that passion through your work and succeed. So the support is there.
And it's more fun together.
Yes. And as I said, it's scale, scale, scale. You will never get this many people in your office, no matter who you work for, who are actually happy to talk to you and tell you about their experience.
Yeah, so, that's the experiences. Sarah Jane, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate the chat. Congratulations on the keynote. Keep doing that good work for the community. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. More coming from OWASP Global AppSec EU 2025.